We sold everything we owned and left behind the comfort of home to see the world. Now that journey has brought us to Albania. In this video, we're sharing 5 major differences we've noticed between the US and Albania.
So we've been traveling for a couple months now, and we've lived in places like Chile and South America. We went back home for a little bit, and if you followed our story, you know we left there in about March, went to Portugal, and then on to Italy. And now we're here in Albania. This is the longest that we've been somewhere because the idea was to go and spend 1 month in each of these locations, kind of immerse yourself in their cultures, become part of the community, to see if we could enjoy living in a place that we've never been to before. Now that we've been in Albania for over a month, we're incredibly comfortable here. Didn't take very long to get settled in. We were in an Airbnb for 30 days, and since then we've moved to a second Airbnb. The weather here in Albania has been great. It does get hot, but the weather so far has been really good. And even though there's a language barrier, the people in Tirana and Albania, everywhere we've been, have just been really welcoming. And it goes a long way when you try and learn their language, even if you can just say a couple of words and they understand you. They're quick to correct you if you say it wrong, which I appreciate, because I don't want to walk around sounding like an idiot. But they do very much appreciate it. And we found that in pretty much all the countries we've been to, that if you attempt to speak their language, they will help you and guide you. One of the other things that's so comfortable about being here in Tirana is how safe you feel. You can walk around at any time of the day or night and explore different neighborhoods to where you don't feel like you need to hold on to your belongings. And so far since we've been here, life just seems a little bit simpler. So it got us thinking, why are we so much more comfortable here? And there's a couple things. So here's just 5 things that we'll compare that Albanians do differently than we do in the US. First comparison is the coffee culture in the US versus the coffee culture in Albania. In the US, it feels more rushed. You kind of just order your coffee from one of the chains, run in, there's very little interaction with people, and you're out the door. Or you can bring your computer, log into work. There's no social interaction or anything. Now, when we were back in the States, we used to meet up with our friends and at the same local coffee shop, and it was great. But the difference in the culture between the US and Albania is coffee is an event here. When you walk past these cafes that are packed all day long, not just in the mornings or around brunch time, they're packed all day long. So you can order an espresso, sit down at a table, and you're there for 2-3 hours. They thrive off of it. So a meeting for coffee in Albania is all kind of like a way of life here.
Yep, and we love that.
So in our opinion, the coffee culture in Albania wins for us. Number 2, the comparison of restaurant culture. In the US, feels very much rushed and more like a transaction. You know, you walk in, you get a table, they bring you your menu, you order, they visit the table frequently to see if you need anything, which is always nice. But they also kind of rush you out because it's more of a transaction. It's more of how many people can they get in and out of the door. Then the bill arrives, often before you ask for it, and next thing you know, you're out the door and heading home. Where here in Albania, you can walk up to any restaurant, find a seat, often seat yourself. You usually have to flag down a waiter to get a menu. When they do come around, you get to order your food and you're left alone. You don't have to worry about somebody rushing you out because there's a line outside. Dining it's just meant to be enjoyed. Not that you don't enjoy it in the US, but it's enjoyed in a different way here. Meals usually turn into a long social gathering rather than being ushered in and ushered out. So for the restaurant culture comparison, in our opinion, Albania wins again, not because of the restaurant atmosphere or anything like that, just because it doesn't feel like a transaction. It feels like you get to enjoy your meal and flag the waiter down when you're ready to leave. The third comparison we want to touch on is walkability and traffic. In most US cities, you have to have a car. Some cities have a public transit system. The cost of living in a downtown area in any major city is going to be super expensive. But in order to live in a city, the need for a vehicle is almost 100%. To run your daily errands, to go to the grocery store, to drop kids off at school, or to pick them up, you most certainly need a vehicle. We are in Tirana, so we can only speak about Tirana. We haven't driven in 4 or 5 months, in pretty much any of the cities that we've visited, and it hasn't been an issue. We haven't missed driving. We walk everywhere, which is great. You know, we both feel much healthier. But we walk everywhere because there's no need to have a vehicle. I'm sure you can hear the vehicles and mopeds and everything behind us. There's plenty of vehicles here. It's just, for us, we don't feel the need to have one. We can take a 40-cent bus ride across the entire city if we need to. Now in Tirana, there's no train system, so it's walk or bus. We've taken the bus 2 times, maybe 3 times.
Taxis as well.
And you can take taxis, not really Uber. They have their own version here called Patako. Now, if you do decide to drive, just be prepared because it is hectic. There are lanes in the city, but those seem to be more like suggestion. One thing we haven't seen is car accidents. And I'm not sure if it's because of the hectic driving and people just fitting in where they can get in. They're more aware of their surroundings. You don't really see people on cell phones. So even though it's hectic, it almost feels a little bit safer because everybody's paying attention to the road. So where we're currently staying, you can walk out of our apartment and immediately run into restaurants, cafes, grocery stores, clothes shopping,
Bakery, meat market, everything you could possibly need.
It's all right there. There's no need for a car. We bought these bags called nano bags and we just bring them with us and buy our groceries for a day or 2 and walk back. Now, where we did live in the US, we lived in a big neighborhood that just recently got a grocery store to where you could walk to it. How many people are going to do that? I don't know, because again, it's just not in the culture to walk everywhere. But we were 3 miles from the nearest freeway. You really couldn't walk to anything. We're currently walking around the Tirana Lake, a really nice walk, nice scenery once you get past these cars. But the walking in the US, you know, we would often have to drive to the gym and do it there to get out of the weather or wake up early enough or go later in the evening. Where here, it changes your mindset because you want to actually go. You want to walk.
This does create some challenges for people that don't have the ability to walk. You know, if you are disabled or need any kind of device to walk, the sidewalks sometimes are not even. There's uphills and downhills. So it's very walkable.
We walk now more than we ever did, not just here in Albania, since we've left. And we also do not miss driving. You may go through some sneakers faster, but we're saving on car payments, we're saving on insurance, we're saving on gas, and we're also saving on safety. So I would say Albania, they have us beat when it comes to walkability. The next comparison, which is number 4, is going to be grocery stores. Now here in Albania, the grocery stores tend to be much smaller. They have everything you need. You may have to Google Translate to find out what you're actually looking for. Now the difference with the stores being smaller is you have to be kind of focused on what you're going for. You know, you can't go into a grocery store expecting to find everything in one store, which goes back to the walkability part. You may have to go to one grocery store for your milk, eggs, but then you may have to go to a butcher to buy meats, and you may go to the bakery to pick up your bread.
And the farmer's market to pick up your veggies.
Everything might be purchased in different spots, and that's why the grocery stores, I think, are a little bit smaller. They don't have to contain everything in one area. Whereas in the US, you can pretty much go to one grocery store and just buy everything. Now in the US, there's so much variety and so many choices that we wind up buying stuff that we never used or didn't need. Now in our opinion, I think some of the surprises for us since we've been in Albania is how much better some of the simple foods are. Your vegetables and your fruits and everything, they all taste like they're supposed to taste. They're all the size they're supposed to be. When you make a salad with cucumbers, tomatoes, onions, and everything else, you can literally taste each vegetable you're putting in your salad.
It's so much more enjoyable to be able to eat things and actually taste them. We're enjoying that.
So in our opinion, I think the grocery stores, it could go either way for us on this one. You do have more variety and more options back in the US, but here we just tend to buy groceries either every day or every other day, and it's usually small items for whatever we're gonna make that day or whatever we know we need for the next 2 days.
That's exactly right.
Number 5 comparison between the US and Albania is cell phones. In the US, cell phones are a major part of life. Everywhere you go, no matter whether you're in a restaurant or watching people drive, people are constantly connected, looking down at their phones, basically distracted from interacting socially. Where here, Albanians have just as good a cell service as we do. We have not had an issue since we've been here at all. What we have noticed is when we're at a coffee shop or we're at a restaurant, the phones are put away, and the only interaction that's taking place is face-to-face interaction. So that was something to get used to, because I think we found ourselves doing it as well, where one of us was talking and the other one would be looking something up on the phone. Not that you're not listening, but you're really not paying attention. So here, it feels like when people get together, the phones get put away and the social interaction is so much more.
The connections feel different. I think that most people want to connect in person, and with all the digital options that we have, we tend to assume that that's sufficient, but it's really not. We need human interaction in our life, and we're really enjoying that part of when we meet people. You know, they're very engaged in conversation and giving us advice, directing us in different places. It's very nice and welcoming feeling.
So again, in our opinion, for this comparison, it seems like Albania has found a better balance between technology and social interaction. So I would give Albania the win for this one.
Now, this is also considering the generation that we are, Gen X.
Old.
We're not hanging out with teenagers, and we don't have any teenagers. The older crowd, our age, this is what we see.
After spending some time in Albania now and traveling through some other countries, what stands out most for us, I think, is just the pace of life. Whether it's coffee, meals, grocery shopping, walking around town, or just enjoying a walk around the lake. Feels like they focus on enjoying each moment of the day rather than just specific events that happen throughout the week. Again, this is just a comparison of what we see and what our opinion is. It's not that we don't enjoy the US. What we do enjoy is traveling and being able to compare some of these things. So when we do decide to stop this, maybe we can implement some of these things back home.
And this is also from a perspective of somebody that's not working a 9 to 5 every day, or here where people work 6 to 7 days a week. Our perspective includes that as well.
We covered 5 comparisons on the US versus Albania. Number 1, coffee culture. Number 2, was restaurant culture. Number 3, walkability and traffic, kind of included in there. Number 4 is grocery stores. And number 5 is cell phones. So if there's any other comparisons that you guys might want to hear about, let us know in the comments, and hopefully you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you again.
One country at a time.